Welcome to the Christmas edition of NFL Previews and Picks. Tonight, the Houston Texans visit Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Indianapolis Colts. For Houston, there is nothing left to work for. The division is won, the third seed is locked up. For the Colts, it's a whole other ballgame. They just won their first game of the year and have to be riding a newfound confidence. My guess is that the Texans will rest some of their players for most or part of this game, and the Ponies will get their second straight win. On Saturday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, remember most of the games are on Saturday. The Oakland Raiders go in to play Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. The Playing for Pride Bowl. Okay, some of these players probably are playing for much more than pride. They all have incentive-laden contracts that pay them more money for tackles, sacks, catches, touchdowns, etc. Being that this is an AFC West game, a lot of those things will be in abundance. I just can't tell you which. Kansas City has one of the best home crowds in all of the NFL, and don't forget the food. I can smell it from here. Kansas City is on a 1-game winning streak, and the Raiders are on a 3-game losing streak. I'm going with the home team on this game. Kansas City wins. At LP Field in Nashville, the Jacksonville Jaguars come in to play the Tennessee Titans. Although the Titans still have some life, this is probably just another edition of the Irrelevant Bowl. Both of these teams have shown signs of improvement at times, but Jacksonville in particular is limping down the stretch, which cost Jack Del Rio his job. He is a good young coach and will land somewhere else for sure. As for the Titans, they have gotten a good look at Jake Locker these past couple of weeks due to injuries to Matt Hasselbeck, but Hasselbeck is set to start this week. Bringing Locker along slowly, a la Aaron Rodgers, is probably a good thing in the long run. Tennessee wins. At Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the Miami Dolphins come in to play the New England Patriots. Miami wins the tiebreaker over Buffalo. Oh wait, that doesn't matter. Neither of them are getting anywhere near the playoffs this year. New England, on the other hand, is currently the number 1 seed in the AFC, and barring a collapse or a coach's decision to rest players, that should hold true for the remaining 2 weeks of the season. The New England defense still worries some experts, although they did shut down Tim Tebow and the rushing attack of the Broncos last week. Looks like if they're going to go all the way, it will fall on Tom Brady and his wide receivers to put up points. That won't be necessary this week. Tom Brady might even get to rest the fourth quarter. Patriots win. At Paul Brown Stadium, the Arizona Cardinals come in to play the Cincinnati Bengals. There is nothing more lethal than a team playing the spoiler role, and that's what the Cardinals can play this week. They're not going to the playoffs, but Cincinnati is just on the outside looking in. The Cards can play loose. Will Andy Dalton, who has played great all season, tighten up under the pressure of having to win? Can the Bengals defense keep playing the way they have all season? The Paul Brown Stadium crowd will be cold, but still rocking. Bengals get the win here. At Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo, the Denver Broncos come in to play the Buffalo Bills. The news out of Bronco land is that John Elway finally endorsed Tim Tebow. Sort of. Let's face it, even one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game has to be impressed with how Tebow has progressed, even if it has been at a slow pace this season. Also, a 7-2 record is not shabby for a guy getting his first real action in 2 years. For the defense, Von Miller is probably a candidate for Rookie of the Year. For the Bills, this year started off so hot. Well, enough of that. After all, it is Buffalo. They ran into some tough games and ran out of gas. Denver is still working for their playoff position. My few fans aren't going to like this, but I have to go with the Broncos winning this game since they are still in the hunt. At Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, the St. Louis Rams come in to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Since this game has no importance whatsoever, I hope Big Ben gets to sit. He looked terrible in last week's game against the 49ers, basically hobbling around the field on one leg due to that high ankle sprain. This game is against the Rams and Charlie Batch, who has to be about 65, or even Dennis Dixon, could win this game playing quarterback for the Men of Steel. Let the defense win it. Steelers win. At MetLife Stadium, the New York Giants come in to play the New York Jets, the Battle of New York. Or would that be New Jersey? Either way, you have two desperate teams needing every win that they can get and a little help from their friends. The Giants are really the more complete team with their ball control offense and run-stopping defense. Trouble is, they go through some mind-numbing droughts that make you scratch your head. As for the Jets, they just seem too disjointed right now, playing great one week and then laying an egg the next. Darrelle Revis is the lone constant, and he can only play one position. Rex Ryan looked a little lost for words the other day in his news conference. Not like him at all. The Jets are still tenuously holding on to the 6th seed, but Cincinnati is right there if they should lose this game. I actually think the Giants rebound from last week's game and win here. At FedEx Field in Washington, the Minnesota Vikings come in to play the Washington Redskins. The thing that is similar about these two teams is that they have been playing a lot of players this season. That's what happens when wins are so few and far between. Minnesota has some good pieces, but will take a few years to develop. The Redskins are a whole other story. Not sure Rex Grossman or John Beck is the answer at quarterback. A trade for a quarterback during the draft might be an idea for them at this point. The Vikings win here. At Bank of America Stadium in Carolina, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come in to play the Carolina Panthers. Just a few years ago, it looked like Tampa Bay was an up-and-comer. This year, not so much. They have lacked the motivation and fire they played with last year, and that may cost Raheem Morris his job. Josh Freeman is still a good young quarterback, but they need some more pieces. Carolina is in much the same boat. They have the franchise quarterback in Cam Newton, but they need some more pieces around him. When that happens, look out. They might be good for years to come. The number of wins is deceiving for Carolina. They are better than their record indicates and should win here. At M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, the Cleveland Browns come in to play the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland's problem is that they did not have Peyton Hillis for most of the season due to injury. He is the big reason for their success last year, sending him to the Madden cover. Baltimore has pretty much secured their playoff position, but their problem seems to be the inconsistency of Joe Flacco. Some games he is great, some games not so much. They have the running game, the defense, they definitely have the defense. What they need is for Joe Flacco to step up his play. This is one of those games where a lot of players may rest for the Ravens. That gives Cleveland a chance. Congrats to the NFL for upgrading their concussion policy in light of the hit on Colt McCoy. Did you see that hit? I felt it through the TV. Baltimore wins. At Ford Field in Detroit, the San Diego Chargers come in to play the Detroit Lions. San Diego has looked better over the last few weeks, but got it going too late to make a serious playoff run. The Lions started off like gangbusters, cooled off a little bit, and now are back to their winning ways. As with all Lions game, this game likely hinges on how well the San Diego offensive line can protect Phillip Rivers from the Lions' ferocious defense, led by Ndamukong Suh. Detroit needs to keep winning to secure their playoff position. Matt Stafford, Megatron, and the offense do their part. Lions win. At Cowboys Stadium, aka the Jerry Dome, the Philadelphia Eagles come in to play the Dallas Cowboys. I heard an interesting theory. The Eagles have all of a sudden picked up their play in an effort to save Andy Reid's job. I'm guessing he is safe anyway, but wouldn't it have been good if they had played like this all season long? Just my opinion. The hype clearly got to them. This is the NFC East, though, and these games are always intense. The Eagles are mathematically alive, but the Cowboys still win this game. At CenturyLink Field in Seattle, the San Francisco 49ers come in to play the Seattle Seahawks. In another case of one team having nothing to play for and the other team needing to keep winning, the San Francisco looked good last week in beating the Steelers in spite of the power outage. Jim, Jim Harbaugh has the team playing better than most probably expected. As for the Seahawks, they are still young and a few years away. Has to be frustrating for Pete Carroll. San Francisco wins. On Christmas night, the Chicago Bears visit Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers. The good news for Chicago is that Green Bay has absolutely nothing to play for, so they may rest some of their players. Of course, Chicago has little to play for other than maybe that theory goes for either, so that theory may go out the window. This game will probably be more of a Christmas night party for the fans. Will A-Rod stay in long enough to keep shooting for Dan Marino's yardage record? Probably not. Green Bay wins, though. And on Monday night, December 26th, the Atlanta Falcons visit the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees needs only 301 yards in the last 2 games of the season to break Dan Marino's 27-year-old record of 4,780 yards for a season. Heck, he might get that this week. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers also have a shot at breaking this record. Just goes to show you that the NFL is truly a passing league now. In terms of their game with the Falcons, these two teams are the best in the NFC South. The Saints can win the division with a win, but the Falcons are right on their heels. Matty Ice, Michael Turner, Roddy White, and the Falcons want to play ball control offense. That might be their only chance against the high-flying Saints. The Saints defense, led by Will Smith, is also great. I think the Saints just have too much going right now, adding in their running game, which is the best it has been in a few years. Saints win. And there you have it, this week's NFL previews and picks.